Welcome to the Remarkable Opportunities podcast, where we uncover the infinite possibilities of life. Join me, your host Alex Manhart, as I share my insights and perspectives on positivity, success and self-development. Together we explore inspiring stories from experts across various industries. Be sure to tune in and discover the potential of life together. Dear opportunity seeker, welcome to today's episode. My today's guest is Slobo. Thank you for taking the time for today's interview. You are a martial arts tricking athlete, you are a movement and health coach and a professional stuntman and an action actor. So how did it come that you take this path?
It was very natural. It came hand to hand. Growing up as a little boy, already with 9 years old, I was fortunate enough to grow up in an area where I was exposed to martial arts, and since my early days I was always obsessed watching Kung Fu, martial arts, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, all kind of uncommon extreme physical practices that I was never drawn to. Like when I saw kids play soccer and stuff like this and ball sports, I was never drawn to this, and I was basically always drawn to some uncommon arts of movement, so it came hand in hand for me. So I started Kung Fu in 1998 in Germany, where Black Dragon Kung Fu, and that's how everything came, So I got into martial arts, I got into Kung Fu, I met my, mentor, master, teacher there. He gave me like the first insights into exploring myself in physical practice. So after I got into martial arts, I went into martial arts tricking. From then on, through martial arts tricking, which is a mix between martial arts, acrobatics, gymnastics, and self-expression. So you put those things together. It's like acrobatics, like I first started with this traditional, what you know from the Jackie Chan movies, and as boys back then, even we got like Shaolin ropes and we went into the forest and we started experimenting with filming ourselves do this Shaolin type of way of living. So since early childhood, I was always drawn into those specific practices and performances. So then it progressed naturally. After that, obviously, I learned very, very much a variety of different arts, which Taekwondo, gymnastics. I studied sports in Germany. I did my degree as a teacher of physical education. And then 2003, when I saw my master's son do like specific acrobatics, like I told you, martial arts tricking. Back then, I didn't know what it is. We just called it tricks, And then, you're doing tricks, and what kind of tricks is it? So seeing him do those movements, I'm like, okay, I want to learn this one. This is gonna challenge me in all facets of my life, my whole body, my spirit, my mind. It's gonna keep me occupied and challenged. And I'm an individual like this. I need to be occupied, not just in my mind, but also with my body constantly. So it was kind of a natural progression to. Back then, I didn't plan to be a stuntman, even though I saw or work as an action actor. I just wanted to perform and be able to do those skills. So the son of my teacher became one of my best friends and kind of my mentor at that time too, because he already was able to do some of those movements and he could teach me, and then we could challenge each other and sharpen each other's swords basically as young boys already. It's like you compete, you want to do what the other guy does, and then it was like natural progression. So through the tricking community, which is very particular because it's a very small community of very professional and extraordinary athletes, some of those guys, we just get chosen to work as a stuntman, because stuntman just doesn't just mean like you're gonna do tricking. That's what I thought, before I got into the stunt industry. I thought like, I'm gonna go to the movies and do my flips and tricks and be like a real life ninja on the TV screen. But it wasn't like this. So at the end of the day, there's different skills, different needs also for those movies. So sometimes you're just gonna have a weapon, you're gonna be a soldier, or you're gonna jump over a car, or you're gonna, perform in a dangerous environment, certain, like extreme situations where you have to handle risk and performance kind of. So, if you are a martial arts tricking athlete, it definitely makes you eligible to get into the film world. I would say easier because you're skilled, you have skills in martial arts, you have body awareness, you're an athlete, you're an extraordinary performer, you have body awareness, you can naturally already do acrobatics and stuff. So it just went hand in hand. So I wouldn't say I really planned it. It's kind of destiny guided me into this, kind of way of living long term.
And what would you say is your favorite part?
Definitely the challenges, because you can actually rewind and live childhood again. So as an adult, you're gonna be put on a pirate ship, let's say, and you're able to play pirate with swords, draw like black powder guns and shoot them and have muskets. And you can time travel. You have different scenarios. You can play different roles. In real life, yes, but it's just this very free, childish aspect, but in the contrast with a lot of professionalism. So yes, it's play and it's fun, but then on the other side you have this professional aspect of preparation and knowing what you do. But then you have the joy, because when else would I be able to perform on the 1700 anno old school like wooden ship and stuff like this? So those type of scenarios and opportunities to travel and go to different adventures in real life and getting paid for that, definitely a very, very big bonus working in the film industry.
So you told me that you're traveling all around the world to do your stunts and to be active as an actor. What would you say was the most important thing you've learned from that?
I would say it's self-discipline, accountability, and creating strategies, because obviously it's beautiful to travel, but you're gonna prepare yourself. You have to always be prepared. And I have this quote, if you fail to prepare to fail. So it taught me definitely having a militant regime. I was always quite a structured guy and having structure and a militant kind of regiment in my life, but that just tested me to even more have it more structured, more precise, and more detailed. So it teaches you discipline, teamwork, and accountability for sure.
And what would you say if someone wants to do the same as you did? What would be your advice, what this person should do if this person has, for example, fear to use the opportunities?
The thing is, you can never have fear, first of all, to use those opportunities, because if you truly desire it, you're going to find a way to make it work. From my personal experience and the very small community I know of very extraordinary performers, we all kind of are very similar in terms of mindset. If you want to reach your goal, and if you want, let's say you want to be a stuntman in this case, you already need to have the root of your start aligned in your brain with this kind of mindset. It's like if you want to be one of those guys that work on screen and are performers and have that kind of life, you're gonna have to suffer, embrace risk, embrace opportunities that are that look like an obstacle, but they're actually kind of they will lead you to victory. And that said, that means you got to be obsessive. You got to find the right community, find guys that are like-minded, learn the necessary skills. And how you learn the necessary skills these days, you have everything you need on the internet. You can search where are stunt communities, where are workshops, where are martial arts tricking gyms. On YouTube, you can literally, and on the internet these days, you can find everything you need. The biggest problem I see these days with people that want to do something and make their dreams reality, how I say it, is that they don't want to sacrifice and put in the effort. And that's why martial arts tricking athletes and our kind of performers and individuals will always be able to do it, is because we can be obsessive. We can take a video, we film ourselves, and then we take a video of somebody that we want to be like, and we will be able to study this 10-second clip for 3 hours if necessary. So that's kind of the work ethic that will be needed to join the ranks of those kind of real life ninja warriors or whatever you want to call it. It's not for the normal guy that is having a dream. This is really, it's going to cost a lot of dedication, sacrifice, work, and effort, and not just passion. You gotta be obsessed about it. And if you obsess the right people, they will come. You're gonna actually seek them. You're gonna find them, and you're gonna find yourself always be around those kind of people, and then the opportunities will show. And if you're ready then, and you're obsessive enough to hone your skills and create those skills needed, the door will open and you'll be able to grab that opportunity. You will never have a doubt about being fearful, because there's nothing else that goes out in your, like there's nothing else in your brain that you're thinking about but just that feeling of doing this performance. So it just goes naturally.
And how have you coped with injuries?
Here's the part. For me as a martial arts tricking athlete, it's kind of my identity. So injuries are just in general, not just for athletes that need their body to perform like me, or really taking pride in the capabilities and skills we have and appreciate them day by day. Life comes with injuries, if we're an athlete or not. So how do I cope with them? I actually take them again as an opportunity to grow and find out why it happened. Search my soul, search my mind, and listen to my body of why things happened. So a big part is actually at the beginning, of course, you're frustrated, but as long as I was progressing as an athlete and performer, the more I realized all the injuries are kind of teachers. So what I see in this civilized world of domesticated human pets that run away from injuries and want external sources to help them cure them. Let's say I have a knee injury or back injury, and I want to fix it. Most people will go to a doctor and they will give them an external solution, like a bracelet, a surgery, or whatsoever. But that's never going to address the root cause. So as a performer and athlete, injury really means lesson. And all the injuries are lessons to find your solution to the problem and fix it. So injuries actually help me deal with root causes of how they happened. So I can come back stronger, and whenever a new injury happens, I can fix it myself. So actually injuries, I invite them. It sounds odd and stupid, but if I'm getting injured, that means I have a weak link in my armor, and the only way how to fix a weak link in your armor is to work on that weak link and find why that weak link actually occurred at first place.
And what would you say were the most important lessons you have taken out of everything, and also what helped you leading to success?
Certainly the point where I proved all the theories and the scientists and the doctors with their kind of limiting beliefs and frames wrong, and I proved myself right. And what do I mean with that? It was that crucial moment in my life where I was able to come back from this back injury by doing it on my own. Because initially the doctors recommended me to go do the surgery, do the traditional civilized human pet life, human pet way, to give away my self-authority. So the biggest lesson and the biggest success in my eyes was to realize that I can heal myself, and not just me. Through that process, I met enough of people, like-minded warriors, that have been able to do the same thing. So what I'm saying with that is, from this back injury with the primal postures and all of that stuff I did, I was able to come back stronger, even though the doctors said if I don't do the surgery, even if I do the surgery, they said to me, listen, you're never going to be able to do what you do. You're never going to be able... They have this limiting beliefs and put you in this limiting box, and then, the biggest pride I to this day take is this moment where I realized I can do it. Doesn't matter what they say, I can do it. And not only me, I realized every one of us has this ability to...
You mean without, for example, an OP or something
Exactly,
like that.
without surgery. The point is this: the biggest lesson and success in my life was realizing we all can come back stronger and heal ourselves without surgeries, we can be healthy. And I'm not just talking now, like it's not just a lesson. Of course, the biggest indicator for me and this biggest event for me proving that I can come back with natural healing, with those postures and like the way I live and other like-minded people like me live. We just proved the scientists and doctors wrong. This event proved in my life that we all have this power to unshackle ourselves from those limiting beliefs, because you will always hear this across all the four corners of earth. You will hear doctors and scientists and health gurus and whatever people talk. They're gonna give you one solution, but it's not everything of the story. You gotta write your own story. And that was the biggest success for me, was realizing, hey, actually there is more than just the science, the papers, the articles, the doctors. There's a whole nother realm of opportunities and chances you can grab if you're willing to go through this process. So which means like realizing, first you gotta shift your mindset. You gotta realize, hey, listen, surgery doesn't do anything that just alleviate the pain, but it doesn't fix the root cause. So the biggest lesson in success was for me to learn that if I fix the root cause, if I work on myself, my social habits, my way of living, my lifestyle, if I change everything I do, I can heal myself. The victory here is the gold I get, the treasure I get from that lesson, and that what I consider my victory that helped me to continue in life. Like this one lesson helped me to actually do everything else I did in life, was realizing I gotta have self-authority. I gotta do the work on my own. I cannot rely on external sources. I don't actually, not I cannot, I should not. I should not rely on them, because I realized after this injury with my back that, I have the opportunity to heal myself. And that goes beyond just back pain, knee pain. That goes beyond all of those things. You can resolve most of your health issues with the natural primal way. And that means not relying on supplements, not relying on doctors, not relying on external crutches like whatever, caffeine, protein shakes, all of those gadgets, sunglasses, soft things around you. It's like I really realized, and that just switched the flip in my brain. It's like, wow, yes, I had to go through 18 months of recovery, obviously, and now people will say, that 18 months sounds crazy and whatever, I did my surgery and after 3 months I could do stuff. Yes, but you never solved the root cause. You never reconstructed your body so that it doesn't happen again. And if it happens again, you're gonna again rely on an external source. You're gonna still be, now I need my second surgery, I'm gonna go to the doctor. So again, you never address the root problem. So the victory here is, you gotta learn to address the root problem and realize you actually have the power to fix the root problem, because you know how you live. The doctor doesn't know how much you sit during the day, how you sit, where you sit, what you do, what you eat. He doesn't know how you live, and he's not gonna address that. And all of those concepts of this modern civilized world, and that's why we have all of this problem, is everybody is seeking some external support. We don't need this external support, because we all have that within us to actually win and get better. And just quickly to conclude that, why I say it's important that you change your mindset. For me, it happened. So when I had the back injury, where my left leg was almost completely paralyzed from the kneecap below, I was limping basically. I was limping for 3 to 6 months. I couldn't run. I couldn't walk. I couldn't sit. I had to start sleeping on a completely hard floor from then on, because the pain and everything, the suffering was excruciating. So I'm like, I don't want to live like this. So I was traveling, the injury was fresh. I was traveling to Manhattan, and I saw this Chinese guy. He must have been around 80 years old, if I remember correctly. He must have been around 70 to 80 years old, and he was sitting down there. very calmly in his human resting squat, which is your divine resting position, human resting position. Like, we should all be able to do this. So anyways, he was sitting there, and I myself, I barely could walk. So I'm like, okay, let me see how this position feels. And I tried to imitate him. Like, you see monkey see, monkey do. It's like, oh, let me also try to get. I was 23 years old at that time. This guy had gray hair, Asian guy, 70, 80 years old. And he was there just reading his newspaper, chilling, relaxing in the most natural way possible. Like, he didn't need a chair like everybody around him. And I went down into this position. I was sweating. It was painful. I'm like, oh my God, I'm 23 and I'm so domesticated and I'm so crippled. Literally, I felt crippled. I felt like I was literally tortured by society and made weak and fragile. And I'm like, okay, I cannot live like this. If I continue to live like in this way of my life, I'm not gonna be able to do anything. If I cannot sit like this 80 years old guy with 23, I must change myself. And that was like the pivot in my life, the moment where truly everything turned around, and like literally a flip in my brain, like it sparked, it switched, and I'm like, okay, I gotta change everything about my social habits, how I live, how I sleep, how I sit, how I eat, how I think about nourishment, how I think about food, how I think about exercise, how I think about breathing, how I think about social conditioning, talking with people. I usually don't sit in those chairs, I mentioned it earlier. I will sit on the ground. Every minute of the day, no, every second of the day counts. And the more you connected, I realized the more you connected to the primal ways, the ways of accepting that you have the power to change it on your own. You don't always have to go the first instinct of everyone in this world I've seen, and especially in the first world country of civilized world, the first instinct is to seek external help. No, you gotta fix yourself first. And then worst case, you gotta go to others. So to conclude, main lesson for me and what I consider success is coming back from those negative odds, from odds where people would say, if somebody would bet on me, they said, yo, it doesn't look good for this guy. But I turned it around and I actually came back from the worst phase in my life. I came back stronger with so much vigor and energy, because I now realized I have the power. If I have the power to change myself, then all of us have, and everybody of us has the birthright. You inherently, you have this birthright in you to be capable, to be anti-fragile, and to be able to heal yourself without any of those external things where it's just about money making. Because 80%, and I'm living proof of that, and many other like-minded warriors I know and worked with and I'm in contact with, and they prove that 80% of surgeries are not necessary, and that's the biggest victory for me. And that said, I'm not saying if you have an accident with your car, of course you're gonna have a surgery. That's a different story. But in terms of living and lifestyle, and then you get injured, you first have to do the work on your own. And I realized if you take accountability and realize you have the self-authority to do it, then that's where everything starts, and way more opportunities open up in your life once you change that mindset of, okay, let me figure this shit out. It's gonna be painful. It's gonna take a lot of time. I have to change a lot of things, but most important, I'm gonna have to change my whole perspective about life, injuries, and health.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. When you change your mindset, when you change the way you live, it will get better and you can heal yourself, and you realize you're not depending on the outside world, you're just depending on the inside world, and you don't need supplements or anything else. So coming back to your career, how does your daily routine look like?
So I have certain non-negotiables, and I have them since I actually left Germany in 2012. And then started to go to America and travel across the world and pursue my kind of dreams. And, I had these aspirations, and I realized there are non-negotiables to this day. To this day, I still oblige, I'm still obliged by them, like day to day, I still do them. For instance, after I wake up, I have like certain movements I do that help me activate certain muscles and connect to my body, instead of like most, again, they will rely on external things. They're going to be dependent. You always hear this thing of, don't talk to me in the morning if I didn't have my coffee. Again, it's crutches, caffeine, and all of those external things. They're crutches, and they disconnect you. And why they disconnect you? Because they separate you again from yourself, from your temple, from your own healing powers and own stimulus. We need the stimulus. So when I wake up in the morning, I want to stimulate my body, my muscles, my ligaments, my tendons, my tissue, just everything, my breathing. So I do certain movements in the morning, in the first hour, without phone. Like I start the day, I build my armor, kind of, not just mentally but also physically. So because the world is going to attack you. We all know, you go out, something is going to happen. Maybe you get a call, somebody in your family is sick or whatsoever. Then your emotions might get triggered and stuff like this. So for me, it's a non-negotiable. I start my day with very much self-awareness, physical practice, breathing, certain primal postures and activation movements where I can connect to myself and wake myself up, and then I'm awake. I don't need coffee like, most people do. So I try really to keep it, and I'm saying this because I don't want to bash on anyone. Like, again, for those that don't know, I have been on your side, guys. I have been a domesticated human pet myself. That's why I went through all of those things, but I realized it's gonna either make me or it's gonna break me. I'm gonna either give away and be dependent on somebody else, or I'm gonna take it into my hands and take the responsibility to do the work, which I have to keep it real. Most of the guys, girls don't want to do the work. So you have to be honest to yourself. And that are some of my non-negotiables. So I wake up, I have an hour without a phone, without any external. Again, it's about getting away from the external, first connecting to yourself. Non-negotiable, first hour, self-awareness, practice, certain movements, mobility. And then I have 2 other physical practices and sessions every day. So I'm going to switch between calisthenics, certain exercise. It comes from exercise, exorcism, exercise. So you want to get away with the demons. If you have to deal with emotions, again, people are depressed. Sometimes it's emotional, but emotion means motion. So you gotta use it, and you can dispel it and discard it and deal with it, and you will feel lighter afterwards. So every day I try to at least have one conditioning and exercise session where I work on upper body, lower body, core, body weight movements, calisthenics, stuff like this, depending. I switch it up, I just switch it up. I try to keep it diverse and stimulating so that I'm always like kind of challenged. And then I'm going to have martial arts tricking and technical sessions. So that's kind of my base regimen. It doesn't matter if I work on set, if I have other duties. I'm going to structure my reality and day and time schedule in a way that I still have time to do those things. Doesn't matter if I have to sacrifice sleep, if I have to sleep 3-4 hours less, to wake up 3-4 hours earlier to do my stuff for myself first. Because again, I'm about building armor, because when I go out there in the world, I might not be able to do things for myself, but I did things for myself, so I'm solid, fixed, I have my frame, I'm in balance, I dealt with the demons, and then when other people I need, I can actually share and help them because I've been through it. So that's kind of the main structure. And obviously, if there's 2-week periods where I have to do a lot of filming and traveling, and my schedule is very filled, I'm gonna make it in a way that I fill the gaps. So even if I'm on set, I'm gonna then at some point also do my workouts and physical exercise on the set, because I'm big in my life. I'm big about, I have to build myself up first so that I'm able to help others build themselves. So that is very crucial for me in my life.
So you also told me some facts about your life on set. Could you tell me some facts how this schedule would look like?
Oh wow, okay. So I'm really living this militant sergeant kind of energy. From some of the audience might have heard about David Goggins. So in the recent years, I was big about it. And even before I knew about David Goggins, I was always I'm about martial arts tricking. I love martial arts tricking. That's like my anchor and my fun, like my foundation in life. And it's going to always help me to keep the motivation, to keep like my passion, to keep my drive in life, to do those things I don't like to do. So for instance, if there's a particular shoot and I have call time at 6 a.m., right? I'm gonna wake up maybe at 3 a.m., do 1.5 hour, well, 1 to 1.5 hour physical practice session for myself, so I can build myself, make myself ready and connect to my body and do something for me first before I'm in service to others. So I first have to be in service for me, and then I'm gonna be in service to others. Then I'm gonna be on set, and then I'm gonna be mentally and physically calibrated to perform. And then let's say we shoot from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Obviously, sometimes you don't finish at 6 p.m., then you're gonna finish at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Then I go home at 8 p.m. after the whole shoot, and I'm gonna still do my second session. And now people say, oh damn, why you do this? Because tomorrow, obviously, I'm gonna have the same call time, usually at 6 a.m. So if I get home at 8 p.m. and I need again to wake up at 3 a.m., that's gonna be not enough sleep for most of people. It sounds crazy, but here's the thing. If I don't do this and I wake up the second day and I haven't done things for myself, I haven't done the tricking, I haven't done the physical practice, I will not be able to bear the negative things and the things I don't like to do. So it's like a give and take for me. So I have to sacrifice and suffer first so I can actually have the bliss and pleasure on set and be calm and be balanced and not be bothered about anything that might impact me in a negative way. So yes, then from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. I'm gonna still do my second workout. And then it's 10 p.m. and then I need to wake up at 3 again to just repeat and, rinse and repeat. I do it again. Sometimes I have to do it for 2 weeks. Sometimes I'm gonna skip the evening thing to at least try to get 6 hours or 5 hours in sleep. Sometimes I'm gonna make it to 6 hours and then I'm gonna fill the gaps if I don't have certain uniforms. I'm not in like pirate costumes and some uncomfortable stuff where I cannot move. Obviously, I'm gonna try to do my 2 physical practices that are non-negotiable for me. I have to do them. It's otherwise it's like demons haunting me. I cannot fall asleep if I haven't done this duty for myself first. So I'm gonna try maybe to slip it in on set and do some of those challenges and physical practices on set. And these days, mentioning David Goggins, there will be a vlog I'm gonna be releasing on a movie set where I was actually challenging my other stunt comrades. You guys know who you are. I was challenging them while it's 3 a.m. in the morning. It was a night shoot, so it was completely opposite schedule. When nobody wants to do stuff, when everybody's tired, I call it taking souls, because I know, again, I need to do it for myself. But when I'm on set, and I see from 10 guys, maybe 1 or 2 guys will join me, and that's enough to fuel me. And I feel like, okay, we're taking over now, while everybody, I myself, I would love to just hang around and relax and not do anything and wait while the next setup is and while they prepare the next scene and kind of relax. But we kind of paid to be the extraordinary performers and athletes, and like this we have this mystery about us. So let's take it to another level. Let's take souls, let's challenge each other, let's do something others don't do. And David has this thing, he says, uncommon amongst uncommon, and that's what I do when I go to movie sets these days. It's more like a personal challenge than just being in service. So I'm trying to combine both worlds. I still want to do the performance I'm hired for and perform, but I don't want to sacrifice my personal armor I need to build every day to actually do what I truly love. and that is tricking. I want to be able to always do this. That's why I say this anchor, this obsession, this foundation, this root of what made me who I am today and what helped me open up many doors and many opportunities to made me able to grab them. I will always be loyal to that and appreciate that and love it and build it, because without that I would not be able to. If I don't have this anchor to think, I would not be able to sacrifice sleep, wake up, do all of this work and all of this stuff where people think, oh, you're just crazy. Yeah, I don't do this because I love doing this. I do this because I know it's necessary so I can actually do what I really like to do. So it's like a trade-off. It's like you give and get,
And what would you advise someone who hasn't found his passion and who is lacking, for example, on motivation and does not know where his path will lead?
Here's the thing. I don't really believe much in motivation, because motivation is very short, and today you see something, that looks nice, let me try it. Motivation is very short term, so I would not work on motivation. I would work on a thing like I mentioned earlier. Find something you're obsessed with, which will help you to get where you need to go. It's like, and to do the stuff and stupid and nuisance tasks around you that everybody is avoiding, like whatever, making your bed. It can be simple things, it's like doing 50 push-ups, anything, or reading a book, finishing 2 audiobooks that you don't want to do, but you need to find something that's gonna not just reward you but keep you anchored. Find something you would like doing in your life even if you don't get paid. So let's say you don't get a salary, but you're gonna still drive 3 hours away from your city to meet with the people to do what you like to do, and 3 hours back, just and again, in your brain, if you're able to sacrifice sleep for something, to travel, to do everything, but you don't get a single cent back for that, if you have that, I would put emphasis of finding that particular one thing that keeps that fire in you, no matter what kind of suffering you have around you. So you gotta search for something that's so much worthwhile that you can endure the pain, that you can sacrifice time, that you embrace the suffering, because hey, if I do all of this shit, I can finally, draw this beautiful picture. So I would recommend anyone that is seeking to do something in their life, find something you would do without even getting paid, and not just do without getting paid, something that you would do, but then even if you don't do it, you're in some other jobs. I was working in Subway before, I was working in a cinema doing ticketing and swiping the floor after kids throw popcorn and all of that. But while I was doing all of those works, in the back of my mind was like, oh, how would it feel actually when I do this and this? Like I was there doing the duties and the tasks, and it's shitty, you don't like to do it, but in my brain I was in a complete different world, So find something you would like doing, but don't shy away from all of those other skills you could learn. Let's say a good example that was like Subway cinema. You're gonna learn communication, you're gonna learn how to deal with people, how to deal with ridiculous kids that throw gum up there and you must clean the gum. You're gonna learn about emotions, people, different ages, how to deal with people and stuff like this. So do all of those things, gather skills, build yourself up until that one thing comes which your brain just can't stop thinking about. And once you have that, go all in.
And you also told me that you traveled all around the world. What would you say was the most important thing you learned from all your travels?
Well, here's the difference. A lot of people travel, and I know a lot of people from this first world country, they travel to, have a holiday, go into a specific area and stay in this area. What I feel, there's 2 crucial parts that, separate me from just normal travelers, is that I truly immersed and lived with those cultures. So I could learn how they think, how they live, what makes them happy. I could really, merge myself with the kind of cultures and traditions and learn from them and kind of, live in another world, in another life. It's kind of you having a second life from it. So let's say you grew up in a first world country and then suddenly you live in a third world country, but you live like the locals. So it's about perspectives. I learned so many different perspectives, and I learned how to be grateful, show gratitude, and appreciate what I have, what kind of privileges I had growing up in a first world country. And then obviously it taught me building up strategies, travel plans, having relentless self-discipline. Because if you travel a lot and if you live across the four corners of Earth in certain different areas and you always need to figure stuff out on your own, it learns you how to deal with people, how to hustle, how to grind, how to look out for, basically seek opportunities, engage with more different people, take the step necessary. And definitely the biggest part is just this sense of, how can I say, living life, like truly feeling like you live life, not just being in this blueprint set bubble, which again, the civilized, domesticated human pet life gives you like a little plate, and you can choose things from that plate, and that it's not that. There's way more than just this plate. So I realized like this earth is so huge, so diverse, and there's so much to learn and explore, and it's about living. I learned to live truly through that. Actually, that traveling made me truly rich, like those travels and living in other countries with other people, other languages, and not just, going there as a tourist, but truly living there. That kind of made me rich in experience, I would say.
And you also told me that while traveling, you want to help people see their full potential. And now I want to ask you, what advice would you give the audience to get to their potential?
Okay. So the thing is, I mentioned it, all of us, we are gifted with this inherent birthright to be capable, to set a standard for yourself. So to unlock, like you say, potential, or to unshackle yourself from those chains, you must just change your whole mindset first. You must embrace the fact that around you, the people realize this. I have experienced it myself, and I know other like-minded warriors that did it the same way, and it's the same kind of theme we all share with each other. It's that one particular thing that's gonna set you apart from everybody else. And if you get that one skill, then you're just gonna climb up in a complete different reality. You're gonna live in your reality, and once you're there, on the way there, it's gonna be this point of people around you will always talk to you, look at you weird, think, why are you doing this, doubting you, or saying, is this smart to do, or this is risky, or why you do this. Like there's gonna be so much noise around you. And one particular thing I would say and recommend to the audience is you gotta be able to silence all the noise around you, go again inside yourself, and realize you have everything you need. We all seek for things. I need this one. I need this one. As cliche as it sounds, but we have all the tools, everything you actually need to know, and most of us know we need to do the work. But again, we gotta be honest here. Most of us know we have to do more. We cannot rely on those external things, and it's like a loop in your brain. You're gonna break that loop and realize, okay, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be uncomfortable, but I have to make this time up. Because remember, all of us, even me, I feel like time was stolen from me, and in order to reverse that, I obviously have to kind of outwork everybody. A simple example: when everybody's on a chair now, on a table, and they're eating, they eat 15 minutes, okay, 10-15 minutes. In my brain, you gotta reach a point where you have to be extreme to make that time up. If you really want to change your life, you're gonna have to be detailed, obsessive, kind of super structured, and realize every second counts. So instead of 15 minutes here, you're gonna eat 15 minutes on the floor, and while you eat there, you're gonna restore your tissue in those human resting positions and postures. You're gonna restore your ligaments, your muscles. They're gonna have end range motion. It's just one example for this whole, what I would recommend. So you gotta really make this time up, and making that time up is not gonna be with shortcuts. So that's what I want to say. It's like, you cannot take shortcuts. You have to go basically against the grain. It sounds again cliche. It's like you have to do the opposite what everybody does around you.
And what would you say is on the bucket list and things you want to do in your life?
Well, I thought it's the film industry and film world. And don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for everybody I met in the film industry. I'm still involved, but now on my bucket list are two things. It's first, continuing to build the hyperbolic time chamber in Koh Phangan, Thailand. It's a long-term project, 3 to 5 years. It's gonna be like the great Primal Creed, which I did. It's the free ebook. Alex, you're gonna show that to the audience, I'm sure. Free ebook where I go into detail about all the social conditioning, the primal postures, nourishment, and how to get rid of all the supplements and all the exterior crutches and needs and like luxuries in your life, how to get rid of them and actually awaken what you said, your potential. So unshackle yourself. In free ebook, The Great Primal Creed. It's on my socials. It's for free. You can just download it. And The Great Primal Creed again is themed with this anime, Dragon Ball. So Dragon Ball Z, we're gonna represent that on the island. We're gonna make it. We really want to create this in real life hyperbolic time chamber where people can come for camps, for workouts, conditioning practices, to learn skills, to do podcasts like this, but it's going to be in the jungle, on the top of the jungle. It's going to be a magnificent, majestic location. I don't want to spoil too much about it, otherwise people are going to have too high expectations. I already have high expectations about this on my bucket list, obviously, but I know it's just a process. That certainly, building the real life hyperbolic time chamber is on the bucket list, priority number one, but it's like a long-term goal. And the second short-term goal is for next year, 2025, to reach more people, to share this message. What I share with you, what I share with the audience, is to give people the awareness and spark a little it's a little bit of interest into those kind of topics of actually going back to primal, going back to simple life, going away from luxuries, and then awakening yourself and just becoming a more capable human. And like I said, human for me means you need to be able to sit in a human resting squat. So if you can't sit in a human resting squat, you're not a human, because that's what identifies humans. Humans should be able to sit in their divine, God-given posture. You don't need to buy a chair to sit and rest. So that should be like the first goal, to make more awareness about those things, because they're very practical and can be applied. Other than that, a lot of topics I speak about can seem abstract for a lot of people or extreme, because I know I once was on your side, guys. I knew it's like, oh, why should I do this? So I get this point, and why should I do this? Because I could just get a luxury 5,000 euro ergonomic chair and it's gonna have back support. No, guys. The more, again, you rely, I want to really create bucket list 2025 agenda. I want to create awareness and spread this great primal creed message that we all have this primal power in us, and we can do it if we put in the work and if we accept that we actually have the power to change ourselves, to really awaken that wild animal in you, and with that, the anti-fragile power and the fearless attitude of that dormant powers you can awaken. Like in Dragon Ball, they transform. Yes, they transform, but they work themselves towards up to that point. Nobody helps them to do the work. So definitely that's 2025. Number 2 bucket list is spread this message to help others, because I know it works. I'm the living example that it works, and many people I know across, Earth, within my resources and, community I have, they have very similar perspectives and knowledge. We're gonna spread it together, and I just want to make my contribution. And it's kind of a way to give back to those that believe in me, but also looking for more haters that don't believe in me. So that's just gonna fuel me to even further, expand this conquest of spreading this message of unshackling yourself and killing that domesticated human pet and just being reborn again. And that said, one challenge for you will be the human resting squat, to claim it back the next time I see you. You should be able to have that back as your resting position, so you can also unshackle yourself from your limitations. And we don't age because we, get old. We age because we don't use those positions and habits, and we don't live in that certain way of being simplistic, connected to the ground, connected to yourself and your body. And the human resting squat challenge is gonna be a great kind of key. It's gonna open a door so you can explore way more things, and you can realize, oh, I'm actually not old. I was just lazy. I was just comfortable. I was just relying on all the super comfort and luxury. And I can reverse those things if, again, I sacrifice time and I put in effort. So that is the challenge for you. And that said, it was a pleasure to be around here. Share it with your audience and just spread the word as a warm-up for the 2025 agenda.
So first of all, thank you for the challenge. Is there anything else you want to share with the community?
Guys, my big message is the less you need to rely and be dependent on other things, the more likely you're going to be healthy, capable, and succeed in life. So my challenge, just the last message for this audience, is going to keep it sane. Go primal, awaken your dormant potential, and don't let yourself be limited by anything other people say that are just theorists and guys on the internet typing on a keyboard and posting articles. Go find practitioners like I did, Ido Portal, Charles Poliquin, Olympic strength sensei, Ido Portal training, Conor McGregor, then like certain athletes like Ben Patrick, that prove that true victory is in leading by example and showing and not just telling. That's the last word.
Well, thank you for taking the time for today's interview. And all the best, your Alex. This was a new episode of the Remarkable Opportunities podcast. I hope you got a lot out of it and can use some tips and tricks in your everyday life. Support me by subscribing, liking, and/or leaving a comment. Your feedback is very welcome and helps me to spread the message of positivity, success, personal development, and possibilities of life even further. I look forward to having you join me for the next episode. Until then, never stop pursuing your dreams. All the best, your Alex.